Just seeing how long I can get a hold there for. It's working.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video at D.S.R. I've ridden dirt, I've ridden naked stars, I've ridden a cruiser. Now it's time to try a sports bike. And today I'm on the CBR650R. Baby brother of the Fireblade, less than half the horsepower at 96, but still I'm very excited to jump on board. Alright mate, it's not a motorbike. We've all been 17 years old. Go on the Focus. Kill switch, electric start, and we're good to go. Engine version 500, you're a little bit more upright on that, but actually on the 650, yes, I'm obviously lower to the tank, yes, my knees are a little bit higher, but I'm certainly not hunched over, uncomfortable, compressed, you know, the usual cons of owning a sports bike. For me, this isn't just a test ride and review. I'm actually looking to see what I'm going to get next after the 390 Duke. Ready for a little bit more power. Need to get a bigger bike as Matt progresses on to probably the GT. And I've had my eye on the 650. But I've also had my eye on the 660 Trono. I've not had a chance to ride that yet, but I will get out on it. But main difference is cost. 650R is coming in brand new at £7,000. A Trono 660, £10,000. The way I'm enjoying riding this bike, I think I could spend that £3,000 on something else. Hear me revving the tits out of it then. I think the clutch just needs a little adjustment. I mean, it could be my riding too, I agree, but Matt assures me, clutch. So as I said, the big gal version, the Fireblade, that's got about 210 brake horsepower. This sitting at 96. Both bikes around the 200 kilogram weight. I think this is actually a couple of kilograms heavier than the Fireblade. I'm not not adverse to riding litre bikes. Obviously I had a little go on the Super G-Car, but I think for my price band, I think for my rider competency, as it were, I'm looking about the mid-level engines. This at 650, the Chono 660, maybe the MT-07, although having ridden that, I'd quite like to give the MT-09 a go. I feel your love. So finally a bike I can put my feet flat on the ground when we come to a standstill, which straight away it just makes me feel more confident. I've ridden a lot of new bikes, a lot of different bikes since I passed my test. I've done a lot of miles on my 390, but I have to keep on reminding myself I've only been riding for 2 months. So to actually put your feet down on the floor flat does feel very reassuring. As you can see, Matt's in front of me. He's reviewing the 1290 Adventure today. Check out that video in the link above. Yes dear, you can wheelie. Dash, nice clear dash. It's not particularly high tech, but it's got everything you need. Actually, control wise, there's not really much to this bike. Kill switch on my right, electric start just underneath it. It does have traction control, and that's operated just by this little button over here. No light means that it's on. Take off the throttle, push the button, and there you go. Light comes on with a cross through it. I assume that means traction control's off. She says, desperately trying to get it back on. There we go. This is my favourite bike that I've ridden so far, hands down. Paint jobs, this is obviously the 2021. Comes in this gorgeous Grand Prix red, or you can get it in the metallic black. I'll definitely stick with the red. Matt, your choice? Red. I was worried about the pressure on my wrists. I've just heard horror stories from Matt talking about any sorts of sports bikes. I can feel it, but it's not too bad. And look, flat-footed. Mirrors are a good size, quite far forward, which you get quite a lot of your body in, but actually just a little head tilt, and you can see enough past you. I'd definitely invest in a quick shifter for this bike. I can afford a few pounds to spend on a quick shifter. Just makes life easier. Otherwise, I really love the look of this bike. I'm not sure there's much else I would do to it. If you've got one, comment below, let us know what mods you've made on it. We'd love to hear. Having ridden a few bikes recently with some very unresponsive brakes, or on the flip side, too responsive, it's nice to feel in control with this one. Quick look at the front then. Some nice LED headlights. Front nose, I think it looks good. The fairing's not too much, but enough to keep that sporty look. Rear then, I really like this little tail tidy. Instead of just putting bog standard bit of plastic on, I actually thought about a design. I like that. She looks all right when Matt's not in the way. Ah, nice stretch of road. Check the flickability. Oh, it's like gliding. Oh, Matthew's showing off. Yes, yes. You can move your hips. Yes, sir. I can boogie. That's what I hear when I see you do that. There's one time I watched MotoGP. Look at this, Matt and Zoe lost again. We could do a whole YouTube channel on just us getting lost. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Handling is great on this bike. Steering is nice and light. Can definitely flick it around corners, no problem. This bike's kind of great for the country, but also great for the speed, get onto some main roads. Let loose. Guy in the showroom tried to tell me it was good for touring too. Jury's out on that one. But please, do let me know if you've done some touring on this. As always, a huge thanks for watching, and please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It doesn't take you very long, but it means the world to us. And if you haven't already, go and check Matt's video from our dual ride today and go see how he fared on the 1290 adventure. Nice!